What's going on, guys? Welcome to an episode review for Demon Slayer Season 2. This is technically episode 1 of the Entertainment District arc. As you know, that they have been basically going over the Mugen training arc again. So we've pretty much been waiting for them to actually get to the new story arc, which is the Entertainment District arc. Yeah, now they've of course aired the first episode today, which is a special 48 or so minute episode. Pretty much just introducing us to the new characters, the new character of the new Hashira at least, and also sort of going over pretty much the aftermath of what happened after Infinity Train.
Yeah. Speaking of the Mugen Train arc that was airing over the past 7 weeks. Honestly, there was, to be honest, there was just literally no point to them airing those episodes. It was just them copying and pasting segments of the movie, and then just placing them into six episodes. And not to mention that none of the additional animations or something, whatever they did to extend each episode, did little to nothing to add into it.
Yeah, I did watch a comparison video of the new scenes or the new animations or whatever, and it's pretty much they're pretty inconsequential. Like, there's no real difference. I mean, it's like you said, it's pretty much just there to pad out the episode. And of course, they also included all the commercial break. I don't know what you call them, just transitions. But I mean
that's expected.
Well, yeah, but that's pretty much the only thing you're getting. There's no reason to watch this if you've already seen the movie. People thinking that they're going to get something different, there pretty much was nothing different, unfortunately.
The only thing that was different was of course that prologue episode that featured Rengoku.
Yeah,
but that was
you can pretty much
just
watch that episode and be done with it.
Yeah, and of course just watch the actual Mugen Train movie. I mean, in my opinion, I think the movie itself is a more definitive experience than having to watch 6 consecutive episodes of the exact same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, certain scenes were just blatantly padded out or paused or extended just to pad out the each of the episodes 20-minute run times. So it just felt like literally just nothing different about it. But yeah, so 7 weeks later, and we finally get to see the start of the Entertainment District arc, which was originally advertised to be, since the Mugen Train movie came out. So I'm finally glad that it's finally out already. So the episode actually picks up immediately after the events of Mugen Train, where we see Tanjiro and the others still mourning Rengoku's death, and we see members of the Demon Slayer Corps, recovering them because they're dealing. Well, mostly Tanjiro, he's dealing with injuries that he's sustained at the end of the fight. While he was kind of incapacitated while Rengoku was fighting Akaza at the same time. So, and also we also get to see a crow send a message to Rengoku's brother Senjuro, who unfortunately receives the news and begins mourning his death. Which I'm kind of surprised that they didn't add that particular scene into the movie, earlier this year. So I'm kind of glad that they put it into this episode. But I felt like it could have added more to the movie if they put that scene in there.
Yeah, because the way the episode starts, it already kind of shows pretty much the ending of the movie anyway.
Yeah. We do also get a follow-up into what happened, what Akaza was doing, and why he was there in the first place. So, at the beginning of the episode, at the beginning sequence of the episode, we see some boy just walk into a library and just pick out a book, and then he goes back home to his family, who apparently he was adopted to but they reveal that he has some sort of skin condition that he can't go outside into the sunlight, which obviously reveals that he's a demon. And then eventually it gets revealed that this is actually Muzan in disguise again.
Yeah, at first I really wasn't sure why they were emphasizing this kid, and then because it's been a while since I've seen the first season, so I kind of forgot about like what Muzan could do. So I mean, when we last saw him, he was at least pretending to be a man with like a wife and child, and then later on in the series he was posing as a geisha, and now I guess he's posing as a child. So I'm not really sure like why, like why, like you mentioned like before we started reviewing this, is like why he's kind of like just kind of pretending, just like going into different roles and pretending to be different people. Like I'm kind of wondering what he's getting out of that.
I mean, you would think someone would question like where, like for example, the wife and child would be wondering what where their father is at this moment. And then considering that now he's disguised himself as a child, like if he goes missing, then the family would stop asking questions too. So unless he just ends up killing them.
That was what I was thinking, is that like he just maybe kills them so they don't ask questions. But yeah, like so like you said, we do find out what happens to Akaza. Like he ends up reporting to this child, who of course ends up being Muzan. And Muzan is upset with I think before they even, it wasn't before he even talks about this, like he mentions the blue spider lily flower.
Yeah,
like because we see that Muzan has gotten this book of plants, and I guess that was why he checked out the book of plants, is because I guess he's looking into this flower, but we don't really know why he's trying to find it. Maybe it has some special properties or something. We're not exactly sure. We don't really even know much about Muzan's motivations at this point, as far as I remember. Other than he wants to wipe out the Demon Slayer, the Demon Slayer Corps.
Yeah. So Akaza, well, he of course, like you said, he reports to Muzan, and he reveals that he hasn't recovered the blue spider lily flower, or he hasn't located it, which disappoints Muzan. But as soon as like Akaza, tries to report that he killed Rengoku, Muzan's still not pleased, because he takes this as no surprise that a demon can just immediately kill off a human, like regardless. But he's also disappointed with the fact that Akaza didn't bother to kill the other three, like Tanjiro and the others who were there at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, of course Muzan's angry with him, and Akaza himself is even frustrated with himself, as we see later on. Like he's really, of course, pissed at Tanjiro because of him inflicting, like Tanjiro kind of wounding him at the end of the movie. Like and of course because of this, Tanjiro ends up losing his sword, which Akaza just like in anger just punches and ends up destroying. So yeah, like it would basically, I guess, setting up that Akaza's probably going to go after Tanjiro, or he's going to at least he wants revenge on Tanjiro pretty much. So yeah, and then of course it just I think it's after the scene where we kind of start catching up with Tanjiro and his friends again, finding out what they're up to.
Yeah, Tanjiro and his friends are once again staying over, I think
the
it
Butterfly
was
Manor,
the Butterfly Mansion. Yeah, and of course Tanjiro disobeys doctor's orders because he's still injured after that fight. So he goes to meet with Rengoku's brother Senjuro, and informs him of what happened. Of course, Senjuro already knew what happened, but apparently Tanjiro just wanted to relay a final message to from Rengoku himself. But I think before that could happen, his Senjuro's father finally appears, and he of course like as we knew like back in the movie, like he was more like how do you say it? He was he wasn't really particularly close with Rengoku in a way, and we see him in this particular scene that he begins starting to trash Rengoku because he views him as weak at for getting killed by Akaza at the end of the last movie.
Yeah. And of course this upsets Tanjiro. Tanjiro, tries to, says you shouldn't talk that way about your son. And I think this is the part where like his father recognizes Tanjiro's earrings as the earrings that another, I guess, person from the Demon Slayer, because I think this is where Tanjiro reveals he's part of, because his father asks who Tanjiro is, and Tanjiro reveals he was from the Demon Slayer Corps, and then his father, of course, recognizes that the earrings are the same ones as the earrings some other Demon Slayer in the past wore, and this Demon Slayer used the sun breathing technique.
Which is, of course, the Hinokami Kagura that
Tanjiro doesn't recognize the name, but he
practiced.
recognizes it as the name Hinokami Kagura, which is the dance his father did. And it just also causes Tanjiro to kind of reflect on, like, wonder, because, it also made me wonder of, like, thinking, was his father, like, a demon slayer or something? Because, like, Tanjiro says, like, their family were coal burners, and they, that's, as far as he knows, that's all they did.
Well, it is kind of confirmed that one of Tanjiro's descendants is also a demon slayer, because if we remember, one of Muzan's, I think, flashbacks revealed like a demon slayer that had the similar looking earrings.
Yeah.
So, but of course, what was it? Rengoku Senjuro's father is of course still, trashing Rengoku, and of course talks down to Tanjiro, even though that he's part of the Demon Slayer Corps, that he didn't do much to help out, and this of course upsets Tanjiro, so he starts charging at the father, which of course the father ends up defending himself. Well, he's like, even though he's a retired Demon Slayer, he's still skilled enough to defend himself, but he starts trying to beat down Tanjiro before Tanjiro ends up headbutting him in the head. So so soon after that, Tanjiro like ends up staying in the house while Senjuro's father ends up going out to town to buy more sake. So Tanjiro, of course, also relays the final message to Senjuro, and he also asks Senjuro more about the fire breathing technique that his family is familiar with. So Senjuro gives Tanjiro a book that's that supposedly has this information, but by the time they open up the book, they revealed all the pages are pretty much torn to shreds.
Yeah, of course, Senjuro suspects that his father did this.
I can't say for sure whether or not if Senjuro's father might be responsible.
Well, yeah, I mean,
maybe
we don't
it
know
could have been
yet, but
yeah.
Yeah. But of course, yeah, Tanjiro can't really learn anything from it that way. But Senjuro says later on that he'll try to, I guess, somehow restore the book or find some other way to recover, like, their record of their techniques or something like that. Yeah.
And there's also they also get into another scene where Senjuro reveals that he's not as skilled as his brother in his sword fighting techniques, and he also revealed that he also got his own Nichirin sword, but he reveals that the sword never really changes color because he doesn't really have much sufficient sword techniques. So he gets to the point where he feels like that he should not follow in his father and brother's footsteps, become a demon slayer, and instead try to work as something else to actually help his own community, while at the same time this would pretty much break the line of Rengoku and Senjuro's family line of becoming demon slayers.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, Senjuro wants to, or he feels like he needs to be, a demon slayer because of his family lineage. But Tanjiro says that you should follow your own path. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering if his character is gonna just go off and do his own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. Yeah, it was a good scene, but I'm also curious of like, how Senjuro's relationship with his father is going to turn out, because once Tanjiro ends up leaving, Senjuro, of course, tries to talk to his father again, but but of course his father once again turns him away, and then, of course, before that, Senjuro gives his father Rengoku's final message before he died, and this, of course, pretty much brings his father down to tears privately. So, like, publicly, like, we can obviously tell, like, he, people view him as a bad father figure, but privately he just, we see him as like, just a broken man just grieving his son's death.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously he's an alcoholic and all that, and it seems like he is abusive towards his family, but it seems like there's still, like, he still in some way cares for them.
Mm-hmm. I have to wonder, like, if it has something to do with the death of his wife.
Yeah.
Because if you remember back in the film, like, Rengoku revealed that his mother died of an illness. So I'm curious if that had anything to do with Senjuro and Rengoku's father's behavior lately.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But of course, like you said, we don't get any more than that, and of course, Rengoku's father just breaks down in tears, soon afterwards. So it was still kind of a touching scene just to watch that happen, and just finally, I guess in a way, I wouldn't say like much of a closure as to what happened during the Mugen Train arc, but it's like, I guess, one step toward getting us closer to that storyline.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what happens with the father and how he might develop his character as well as the brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So soon afterwards, well, we do get a funny scene with Tanjiro going back to the Butterfly Mansion, but of course, the swordsmith who made Tanjiro's sword is, of course, pissed off at him for once again breaking his sword again, or actually, supposedly, like, well, he knows, like, he lost his sword again, so he ends up chasing him around the mansion throughout the entire day before he gets stopped by one of the maids by giving him, like, rice dumplings.
Yeah, I mean, he managed to. I think he barely managed to get away thanks to, like, Oi, letting him back in the mansion grounds, and he kind of lost him. But yeah, of course, they kind of appease him by giving him dumplings.
Yeah. So the episode does end up skipping, I think, 4 months.
Yeah, we get
later.
like a training montage.
Yeah, and of course we see Tanjiro taking up solo missions to take down demons out in a distant village, and there was also occasions where Zenitsu and Inosuke also take their own solo missions as well. So soon after Tanjiro finishes his mission by dispatching a demon in a nearby village, he heads back to the Butterfly Mansion, where he runs into the Sound Hashira Tengen. Apparently, he's trying to take Aoi and one of her maids into a mission to the entertainment district, which, of course, Tanjiro and the others try to stop him from doing so. And of course, Tengen relents and then decides to take Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke to accompany him to the entertainment district, which will apparently start in the next episode.
Yeah, that's pretty much how the entertainment district arc starts, I suppose. But yeah, we also see. We should mention Konoe also tries to help out too, because she was going to, I guess, flip a coin to see whether she should actually do something or not. But she tries to stop the Sound Hashira, but of course can't really. She doesn't really manage to do so.
Yeah, like Kanao is like, as we knew her, like at the end of season one, she mostly based off her decisions by just flipping a coin over and over again. But after getting listening to Tanjiro's advice, she finally decides to make her own decisions rather than just flip a coin over and over again.
Mm. Yeah, we don't really get too much about information about the Sound Hashira either, other than he's really fast, like, as he managed to avoid Tanjiro's like headbutt, and he's also a former shinobi. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, we don't really get much about him in this episode. I'm assuming, of course, we're gonna find out more about his character later on, because we do get the new opening at the end, which kind of seems to imply that there probably will be some like part of this season where we kind of get more of his backstory, I guess. Because in the scene we saw in the opening, he's kind of like standing around a bunch of bodies. So I'm guessing he has some kind of a tragic past or something.
Yeah, and apparently we'll get introduced to, I guess, several new characters that'll be introduced into this arc.
It seems like the main villain might be this kind of like geisha woman that has these like tentacle like robes or something, from what I could tell from the opening. So that might be like the main villain of this particular arc.
Yeah, I do like the change in theme in this particular arc, because it's kind of fitting into where
it
the
had
show's
more
setting
of like
is,
a
going to
jazzy
be.
tone based on the way it's
Yeah, and of course it's played by Eimer,
Yeah.
which I'm surprised that she this is the first kind of song kind of like genre song that I've heard her play in these sorts of in all the other songs that I heard her before.
Mhm. But yeah, that's pretty much the first episode. Like, it was long, but it felt, in a way, it kind of felt a little bit short just because of the, it's just like, well, I wouldn't say like a lot happened, but it felt like there wasn't a lot to really like comment on, and aside from certain things. So I kind of thought there'd be a little bit more in terms of, but I mean, it's more just, it seemed like it was more just setting, of course, like I said, dealing with the aftermath of what happened with in Mugen Train and setting up for the entertainment district arc.
Yeah, I definitely felt like this episode was a fitting conclusion to the Mugen Train arc. Despite the fact this episode is titled Sound Hashira Tengen Uzui, it's kind of misleading because
it's not really about him.
Tengen, because Tengen was only in that episode for about the last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
While just majority of this episode was just dealing with the fallout of what happened in Mugen Train.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I thought it was a decent episode. I mean, in terms of just kind of giving us some follow up to the Mugen Train arc, as well as like I said, setting up the entertainment district arc. I'm pretty interested to see what's going to happen. I do kind of wish this was a longer season, like the first season was. I don't mind that it's a little bit shorter, but I'm also kind of curious as to, of course, if there's going to be even more seasons after this. But I guess we should maybe save those questions until the end of this particular season.
Yeah, because we did hear the entertainment district arc would probably be around 11 or 12 episodes this season, which is still kind of short for, the overall season itself is pretty short, even including like the 7 Mugen Train arc episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this episode. I thought it was a good way to start off the season, to start off this particular arc. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It's I definitely enjoyed the whole follow up as to what happened to after the end of Mugen Train and where they're gonna be heading next soon afterwards. So, and I'm also curious to learn more about the Sound Hashira Tengen and what his backstory is.
Yeah, well, at least we're going to be getting actually like new content now from Demon Slayer. So, I mean, instead of just
finally. Technically, this is what they that they heavily advertised for before they kind of pulled the rug under us and decided to.
Yeah, because we didn't really know about the whole them going through Mugen Train again until like pretty much close to when the first episode came out, from what I remember.
I mean, they did say that they were gonna recap the Mugen Train arc.
Yeah, but we just kind of
everyone
thought that was
caught
gonna
up.
be like a, like maybe an episode, or it would just be like a brief recap, and it would not like a whole like episode arc of the Mugen Train.
Yeah, it's but honestly, it just felt pointless as to why they did that. I mean, hell, they made what $500 million in the box office for Mugen Train alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, for them to just like use up all the resources, from all that just to rehash the entire Mugen Train arc.
I mean, it just makes the movie
with,
seem pointless.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Well, the story's not pointless.
Well, no, I didn't
It's
say the
just
story was, but it's just like why make the movie if you're going to just go ahead and do it for the just do the same thing in the second season.
Yeah,
yeah,
and not to mention the fact that that the Demon Slayer manga series is already done and over with already, so they could have used their resources to at least, I don't know, start up a new story probably after the Entertainment District arc.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would assume that they are right now, but but it depends on how far in production they're in right now.
Yeah.
Because much of the season right now is just the replay of the Mugen Train arc, and of course we're the Entertainment District arc that we're starting off right now.
Yeah, yeah, but like I said, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. It should be interesting. It just sucks that it's going to be much shorter than the first season was. But yeah, so that all being said, until next Sunday, we will see you all next time.